2 minutes before we start. Okay, good evening, everybody. Dear friends, students, and BenvOHS alumni. Good evening and welcome to the UON BenvOHS Alumni first online event. My name is Nancy Shen, and I'm your moderator tonight. And meanwhile, I'm also the chairperson for the BenvOHS Alumni Committee. Firstly, please join me to give a warm welcome to Mr. Chan Yu Guang, the Senior Consultant from Singapore Workplace Health and Safety Workplace Safety and Health Council, and Prof. Sally Chan, the Prof. Vice Chancellor and the CEO of the University of Newcastle, and Dr. Charles and Dr. Kavita, and the two distinguished BenvOHS alumni speakers. Welcome them to take the time out from their busy schedules to join our event tonight and sharing with us. Meanwhile, I also would like to give special thanks to the WSH Council to support our event and the University of Newcastle, Singapore to provide the timely technical support. So the topic for tonight's event is exciting career pathways in the WSH industry. So everything you need to know and more. So the main objective for tonight's event is trying to encourage the young safety professionals and the safety professionals who are choosing their career pathways and in the middle way to switch their career path to stay positive and motivated during this special pandemic period, especially stay motivated in their career development. So it's my great pleasure tonight. I have three awesome speakers to almost represent three generations in the WSH industries, and currently they are all stay engaged and active in this sector. So, and joining us and share with us how they developed their career pathways in different stages of their career. So now this is, I'm going to present you the agenda for the event for tonight. So later we are going to have the welcome note delivered by the Professor Sally Chan and also the keynote speech and another two alumni sharings. And then we will have a short panel discussions. So if you have any questions and you wish to get some answers, please leave at you can ask and press the question and answer buttons below and leave your questions, and we will evaluate the questions later and bring it to the speakers. So before I start, please allow me to give a quick introductions about the BenvOHS alumni. And tonight's event is organized by the University of Newcastle BenvOHS Alumni Committee. And we are hosting regular event, inviting the industry leaders, professionals, and to gather our graduates together and to give up some professional knowledge updatings. And meanwhile, to provide a network platform for each other. Meanwhile, we are also opening our doors to all the public and the safety professionals to join our event and to learn and to share with each other. So this event is our first event we have conducted online. So please bear us a little bit if we really encounter any technical issues. So meanwhile, this is also the event that we are organized this year with a new committee on board. So this is my committee. So my name is Nancy, and I'm the chairperson, and I have Samon and Ryan and Udin Rahan and Mamasha, Evan Chan, Nazru, Farhan, and Eugene, Ikun, and Yichan, and also we have some student representative Minghui with us together. So, okay, before I start, I would like to invite Prof. Sally Chan from University of Newcastle and the Prof. Vice Chancellor and the CEO to deliver the welcome address. Professor Sally Chan is a global healthcare educator and researcher with more than 25 years experience. So she has played a very important role in promoting the healthcare research globally through the developing and maintained collaborative relationship with research partners among the universities, hospitals, and health providers all the countries over the world. So over the years, he has featured more than 400 publications and presentations. So now I pass it over to you, Professor Sally Chan, please.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for the very kind introduction. A very good evening to all of you. On behalf of the University of Newcastle, Singapore, I would like to extend my warmest welcome to all the participants of this webinar. The University of Newcastle is a world-class university. It consistently being ranked as the top 10 university in Australia and also the top 50 within Asian Pacific region. The University of Newcastle has its presence in Singapore since 2002. We run a variety of programs: business, commerce, engineering, IT, communication, and health. The Bachelor of Environmental and Occupational Health and Safety is one of our flagship programs. Across the year, we graduate more than 1,000 students. They are all now making significant contributions in Singapore and the region. The Bachelor of Environmental and Occupational Safety Alumni Committee, in fact, is one of our most active alumni groups in Singapore. I would like to thank the committee for the commitment and passion in promoting professional development in the discipline. I hope that all the participants will gain a lot from tonight's webinar. I hope that you learn how to develop your career in the discipline, as well as to stay strong and motivated in your professional development. I also would like to thank the speakers of tonight, Mr. Chen Yu Kong, Mr. Daryl Choi, and Mr. Sanita. And thank you so much for your generous time and sharing. And I know all of you are very busy. Yeah, so we really appreciate that you spend time with us and help to nurture the next generation of safe professionals. And again, I welcome all of you in this webinar, and I wish you all a productive and enjoyable evening. Thank you. Over to you, Nancy.
Thank you, Prof. Sally Chan. And now I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight, Mr. Chan Yu Guang. And Mr. Chan is a senior consultant in the Workplace Safety and Health Council in Singapore. He has served in the ministry for about 35 years with various management roles, such as Director of OHS Inspectorate and the Deputy Commissioner for the WSH from 2013 to 2018. And he is also the key member for MOM and the BCA task force for drafting the WSH regulations designed for safety. And meanwhile, he was also the director of industry capacity building in the WSH Council. He is also very much involved in the development and promoting the workplace health and safety related standards in Singapore. He was the chairperson for the SSC General Engineer and Safety Standards Committee, and he is currently the advisor to the SSC Quality and Safety Standards Committee. He is also serving a member of the Ministry of Defense of the Second External Review Panels on SAF Safety and Marine Port Authorities National Marine Safety at Sea Council. Mr. Chan, now I pass it over to you, please.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, I will stop sharing my screen.
Okay, all right, let me pull out my slides first. Okay, very good evening to everybody. Professor Sally Chan, thank you very much for inviting me, as well as the BEnvOHS committee for inviting me to share with you on this topic about career pathways for WSH officers. I think Nancy has spoken. She said that there are 3 generations involved. So if you look at my whatever that's on my forehead, I'm the oldest generation. In fact, I retired 1.5 years ago, but I continue to work in the WSH Council to contribute in whatever way I can to improve and enhance workplace safety and health in Singapore, as well as, if possible, in the region. Now, I think many of you are aware that we are in the midst of a COVID-19 pandemic, and it's a very challenging time for everybody in Singapore as well as worldwide. And I think in the mind of probably everybody will be thinking, will this world always be this unpredictable? Because we remember last December, we were all celebrating Christmas 2019. And then we went to Chinese New Year. It was a good Chinese New Year celebration for everybody. And then boom, March, we have our COVID-19 pandemic, and followed by the circuit breaker and all that. So things have become topsy-turvy, and in fact now is rather unpredictable, because the end is still not in sight. When can we get the vaccine? When will we be able to eradicate or eliminate, in WSH term, this virus that is spreading the infection to everybody? So the question, I think, in all of you who are here, is the possibility of a better tomorrow. Is there the possibility of a better tomorrow? Especially those of you who are probably graduating from your studies for the OHS degree, and you're looking forward to be employed as a WSH professional in the business world, in the workplace. All the time you have wasted to complete this degree course, the question now is, do you get the opportunity to show what you have and all that? And if things doesn't turn out well, or things doesn't move as what you think it should be, you'll probably be thinking, have I made my right decision when you decided to choose to take this degree course? But I would say that yes, the world is now very unpredictable. Things are not moving as before. The new normal is something that we never faced before, but I'm quite sure what we have been doing so far will bring us out of this new normal and bring us to a better world post-COVID-19. Now, we are still in what we call the restart stage, because after the circuit breaker on 9 May 2020, the government announced that we are going to lift the circuit breaker and restart our economy, restart our businesses, and restart work at the workplaces. And in fact, I'm quite sure many of you have followed what is happening at the workplace today, and there is this requirement to implement a system of safe management measure, safe distancing, contact tracing, and all that. And when this so-called circular came up from the ministry, a lot of WSHO, practicing WSHO, were quite concerned when they saw this portion say WSH officer could be appointed as SMO, Safe Management Officers, in this so-called SMM regime. Now, many of them say, oh my goodness, last time was ECO, now we also need to double up as a SMO. So WSHO are actually multitasking and being loaded with a lot of new jobs and new work. But when I saw this, in fact, I was very heartened to see it. Why? Because it shows that the management, the government and all that recognize the competency, the knowledge that WSH officers have, and they are competent enough to be just appointed as SMO to do the so-called duties that you can see on the slides here. In fact, I would say that if this appointment is not highlighted in this requirement and say that WSH officer could be appointed as SMO, I'm quite sure many of our existing WSH officers could be the first to be retrenched, because as companies are unable to do their business, they have to close shop, or they have to retrench and bring their workforce down. Who are they going to retrench? Of course, those that are not going to help them in getting the business to start. So getting the WSH officer to be appointed as SMO, it means that you will not be retrenched, you'll be retained, because you are critical to ensure that the companies can continue to function and to restart business. Now, I think all of you know that the WSH officers have a sort of a guaranteed job, in a sense, not for you, but for those with the registration as WSHO, because we have the WSH Workplace Safety and Health Officers Regulations, which stipulates classes of workplaces that need to employ a WSH officer to ensure safety and health at their workplaces. So there is sort of a guaranteed employment. Of course, you know that there are more registered WSH officers than mandatory workplaces for WSHO. But then don't forget that we have other companies who are Vision Zero minded, who are pro safety, and they do not need the law to prescribe, or rather to tell them to employ a WSHO. So the number of workplaces or number of companies that will employ a WSHO will be greater than what is required by law. And I'm quite sure that some of you who are in this webinar are working for such a proactive and Vision Zero-minded companies. And I'm quite sure you have benefited a lot working for them. So career pathway for new WSHO or existing WSHO, there will be, I would say. And in my past 35 years working in the Ministry of Manpower as a regulator, I have seen many changes. And in fact, from the old Factories Act regime to the new WSH Act regime, there's been increase in numbers of registered WSHO employed at the workplaces. And many of them are working in workplaces that do not even need to have a WSHO mandated by the law. So I would say that the career pathway for WSHO is still there, and there are always opportunity to be employed and to work as a WSHO. But I think the challenge is more than that. Let me just share with you this video.
I'm really surprised because I did not expect to win the WSH Officer Awards this year. I'd like to thank my management for providing me with the resources and trust to complete for this prestigious award. As a WSH Safety Officer, I'm always exploring ways to reduce or eliminate risks at work, so people around me can get to go home safe and healthy every day. As a WSH Safety Officer, you need analytical skills to foresee and understand changing circumstances that may lead to accidents, communication skill to convince your subcontractor, project managers, and workers to adopt safe working methods, emotional quotient (EQ) to deal with different levels of staff, and literacy from the top management to the worker level, and most importantly, perseverance to continually strive to instill a safety mindset in everyone. Overall, a WSH safety officer is a profession that requires a lot of passion and patience, as we all know that persuading a person to change is not an easy task. This award is a recognition not only for me, but also for the construction sector. The construction sector has one of the most dynamic and challenging work environments. Winning this award allows the nation to recognize our hard work.
Ho Yao Chong was the winner of last year WSH Officer Award 2018. And I think from what he has shared, it's not just technical proficiency that is critical to your job as a WSHO. Okay, I'm quite sure all of you who have graduated from the University of Newcastle with your degree on EHS, you are well prepared in terms of knowledge and technical proficiency in WSH. But when you join the working world, you need more than that. That's what Ho Yao Chong has shared with you, which I, through my 35 years of working experience, also realized that these are the things, these are the what we call the skills that you need, the soft skills. Analytical skills. As mentioned by Yao Chong, you must be able to foresee and understand changing circumstances that may lead to accidents. You must have the foresight to be ahead of the accident curve, because the job of the WSHO is really to foresee and prevent accidents from happening. Communication skill. I think all of you will agree with me. You need to communicate, because you are selling a product called WSH to your management, to your co-workers, to your contractors and all that. So as Yao Chong has mentioned, communication skill is very important. You must be able to convince people why safety is important, why WSH is important, and why you need to adopt these safe working methods, or why you need to do that, or you need to put that risk control in place. Emotional quotient, EQ, I think that's very important in any, not just in WSH, I think in any other jobs. The EQ is a very important skill that need to have. You have to develop your interpersonal skills to be able to deal with different levels of management, staff, and external stakeholders. Okay, because you have to convince them, you have to buy them over to be proactive, to be to be supportive of your ideas to make the workplace safe and healthier. So interpersonal skills, able to interact with different levels, is very important. And in my 35 years of experience, I think you need more than ACE. You need ACEs. You need the 4 ACEs as what is shown on this slide here. And the fourth skill they need is the system thinking skills. So that makes the ACEs. System thinking skill is about having the discipline of being able to see and understand patterns and look beyond events to deeper structures that control events. Because if you want to know the root causes leading to accidents or to near misses at your workplace, you must have this skill of being able to think in a system manner, system thinking skills, so that you are able to identify the so-called systemic failures or lapses within your company's system, and identify where you can make the change and improve the system. So where is the leverage that lies hidden in this structure, or where are the lapses in the system that are creating all this problem? So besides being technically proficient, you must have the ACEs, ACES, analytical skill, communication skill, EQ, and system thinking skills. And I think in many of you, I think many of you are practicing WSHO. Doesn't this photo portray the situation they're in? Everybody is behind you, but away from you, because you're doing something that they feel that, oh, it's going to affect my work, you're going to slow down my work and all that. So the WSHO in many workplaces is a lonely man, because nobody is on your side. But I don't think that is true in those companies that are doing well in terms of WSH performance and Vision Zero minded. So an effective WSHO must have certain character traits that will help him or her to be able to endure this kind of environment and work towards a Vision Zero workplace. And I think Yao Chong mentioned the P's that the WSHO must have. 5 P's I put them together: perseverance, patience, persuasion, professionalism, and passion. Okay, so these are the character traits of an effective WSHO. I don't want to elaborate further on them, but I think you will understand what where I'm coming from. Now, I like this quote. It says, "Let's face it, leaders inspire, and safety people who take the step of becoming mentors and give up being safety cops are the ones who can truly earn the distinction of safety leaders." I think this is truly, I mean, this is a real good statement by this. I don't know who wrote it, but it is true. Many WSHO at their workplaces behave like safety cops, which then create what I call, animosity between the WSHO and the others, because at the workplace you are not the safety regulator. You cannot behave like what I've been behaving for my past 35 years with the Ministry of Manpower, where I'm the regulator, I'm the safety cop, I'm to enforce the law. Whereas WSHO at their workplace are to help their company, the management, their co-workers to build a safe and healthy workplace, to work together with them. So you are mentor, coach to them. You have to help them to understand how to make the workplace safe and healthier. So the successful WSHO are those who take on the role of being a mentor or coach at the workplace and not a safety cop. I remember there was one case where a safety officer called me up and asked me, my workplace have this condition and all that. Is it a contravention of the law and all that? And I asked him, why do you want to ask me this question? And he said that also that I can tell my management that I spoke to the Ministry of Manpower and said that this is a contravention and you all must listen to me as a WSHO and make the changes. Then I told him, I said that you can't sell, you can sell this once, but you can't sell at other time, because they will say that you are a troublemaker. Yeah, you are the extension of the ministry. You are not working for us. So I think it's important for WSHO out there to behave like WSH mentor and coaches and not to be safety cops. Because some of you feel that you're the extension of the regulator, which I don't think is the case. So what's next? For many of you who are working in the companies as WSH officers, the questions that many of you will be thinking of: what are my career pathway? Where can I go? Am I always going to be just a WSH officer, or maybe a change of terminology, a term of from officer to manager, WSH manager? Well, I think the CISO, CISO, the Singapore Institution of Safety Officer, they have come up with a career progression pathway, CPP, which is a program that is based on CISO professional standard and is industry agreed standards. And what is important is it's benchmarked against the OHS professional capability framework developed by the International Network of Safety and Health Practitioner Organization, INSPRO. This is an international organization. So this program has both local and international recognitions. You look at the graph, that the table shown here, most of you, when you graduated, you get your registration as WSH officer, you're at level 1. But you can see that you can progress to 4 more levels up to level 2 senior WSH officer, level 3 WSH manager, regional manager, and then general manager or director or group or global manager. And the roles are all highlighted there. So I think don't be disheartened. There is a career pathway for all WSHO. The challenge is rather, how are you going to put your knowledge into practice, develop your soft skills, the ACEs that I mentioned about, and of course, you will need to have those character traits to be able to be effective WSHO. There can be more, but I think I just summarized them as 5 Ps. And then with this CPP, identify the type of training, additional training, or additional things they need to do to upskill yourself and to move up this career pathway to reach up to level 5. In fact, in my past experience, when I spoke to the CEO of ExxonMobil, their requirement is that anyone who aspires to be a plant manager of any plant in any of their plant worldwide, that person must go through the safety aspect of work. That means he has to go through a few years in the safety department. So you can see how important it is. If you want to be the plant manager, the big boss of a chemical plant of ExxonMobil, you must have been a safety trained person. So I think that shows how important safety is in ExxonMobil as well as in many other companies that practice the same. So to conclude your ongoing wish journey towards 2028, I think the COVID-19 pandemic is just, something that we have to overcome, but I'm quite sure by next year, things will improve. We will be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Question is, what do you need to do from now? I would say that continue to find meaning and purpose of being a WSHO. Each person has a different meaning and purpose of being a WSHO, but I think it will be for a very noble cause. And I truly believe that a WSHO must have a Vision Zero mindset. You must believe that accidents and ill health are preventable, and you can help your companies to achieve that. And lastly, whatever you do, I think it should be delivered from the heart with passion. So I think with that, I will end my short keynote speech. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, and thanks for sharing with us. And I have a little bit small comments to make before I present another speaker. So Mr. Chan has highlighted two very good points that in the past, the WSHO, or even in the beginning, and even in the now, the WSHO being the lonely man or the safety corps in the organizations. But I think actually under this COVID, actually it's already give us a very good alert or the warning sign that the WSH is no longer still sitting at behind the scene roles, and now it's already become one of the essential service currently. So even when you are stepping in the shopping malls, you are checking if the safety, occupational health, and hygiene arrangement is good or not. If you are not feeling it's comfortable and safe, so you will not even enter the malls. So I think now WSH more or less after this pandemic, it's already become an essential service in all the sectors. So okay, now I'm inviting our first alumni speakers. And the first alumni speakers I'm inviting today is Mr. Darrell Cho, and he is currently working as a safety executive in PNH Resources Private Limited. And he has been graduated from the BenvOHS Alumni in 2019, actually only last year. And before he has worked as a WSH officer, he was working as a financial advisor in the Great Eastern for 2 years. So now I'm inviting him to share with us about how he decided to switch his career path and enter into the workplace safety and health industry, and what actually inspired him and how he equipped himself to enter this industry. So now, Derry, I'm pass over to you.
So I'm
Yes.
Mr. Darrell Cho.
Yeah.
I've been a financial advisor undergraduate for 2 years before I did the change to a safety officer. So currently I'm working in PNH, Resource Private Limited. So it's actually a good company. We have a lot of reputable companies. So basically the main point of my company is we do building maintenance. We do hard and soft projects or LT for LT. SMRT and GHP and other more renovation work to do. So basically, when I started my journey, I wasn't actually a WSH. I was recruited as a project manager first because they saw my engineering background. So after a few months, they said, hey, why don't you try the WSH role? Because we don't have a WSH role. The previous one we left. So give it a try. So I took up the role. And from there,
Can I disturb you? Sorry, it's not very clear. Can you try to switch on your volume or on your speaker? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe better. Can you try to say something again?
Hello.
Yeah, maybe you stay closer to your speaker. Yeah.
So I'll start again. So I did my career switch since September 2019. So from there, I actually joined the company as a project manager. Before they told me, why don't you try the WSH role? So on December, I swapped to safety executive. So I handle mostly the administration side. I have two safety coordinators below me, so they handle the operation. So I've been a safety officer for almost 1 year already. So basically, I just going to share you some personal experience. So the reason why I left my financial advisory and then moved on to WSH, of course, I want to see what's behind the scenes. I want to test theory. Is it practical? All those we learn in class, is it practical? So are we debating the right root cause when we see accident happen, or when worker do one work process, is it correct? So basically, I learn on the field. I also must learn how long concrete cure, how long does painting dry and plastering. So I learned all the workers process. What the worker do, I must learn. So cause every time they rush, accident happen. So I need to know their schedule, work process timing. So basically, what is building maintenance? So building maintenance basically stick to two services, hard service, soft service. Hard service we deal mostly with the welding, AA work process. So we actually do harness, go up to the roof and clean up and do maintenance on the roof. Soft service, we are doing landscaping, horticulture, cleaning and disinfection and listing because of the COVID-19. So we expanded our services. Pest control and general waste management. So some of the challenges I do face in the office and in the field. In the field, I see workers that are not certified, but still doing because they are being trained by certified personnel. Then of course, lab and damage PPE. So there's a different level of safety compliance. It may not always be that the management are the one that always comply. Usually the worker comply with the safety management. So you need to find a balance. So there was a disorganized and unmotivated workforce due to the imbalance. In the office, I found my safety department was in pieces. There was lack of cohesion and support between the departments. There was internal conflict every day.
Sorry, Daryl, can you make it full screen? Maybe some attendees cannot see it.
So
yes, that's better. Thank you.
There was a mix of competency. People know more, junior know more, senior maybe not so much. There was no document control. So basically everyone just do whatever they want. So there was a lack of improper handover. So when I say I hand over a project, I retire, I resign, someone pick up, don't know what's this project, so he just anyhow do. So in my safety department, I decided to designate two roles. I will handle all the administrative duty during my first year. And all my operation, I give up to my coordinators, operation coordinators. So they are the most experienced. And they've been in the company for so long, so they know the people. They know the management. So they know exactly when to ban and when to enforce. So I was pretty lucky. I had one Bangladeshi and one Indian to help me oversee worksite operation. So I told them, you do this for me, I'll handle everything above. So basically, where do I start? How do I start rebuilding my safety department, my WSH culture? First, I started on 2 locations. First, I go to the incident report. I pick up 3 of the top 3. So there will be work at height, shop, and housekeeping. So I started talking to the store also. I said, why all these things happening? He said, we lack PPE, or sometimes the worker never wear, or the worker wear. When you're not looking, take out. So I try to change the mindset. At first, I tried why he doing this, why he cannot do. So I do enforcement. Yeah, of course, the management and the operation people, the workforce also not happy. So I step back. I say, I'm going to be here for 1 year or 2 years, depending on how this company works. Is it a relay race or is it a pace group? If a relay race, I'm going to be here 1 year. I think I'm going to lose it. I give to the next safety officer. Or I'm going to cultivate the culture and turn into a pace. So everyone runs at the same pace. How fast, how slow, I leave it up to them. I'm not the one leading, they are the one leading. I just behind, coaching them. So I changed my whole mindset. I created my occupational health safety system to the current mindset first. Let them want to change. Then I change for them. So my goal is safety compliance culture for the company. So basically, what skills do you need? Depending on the industry skill there is, but the basic skill apply. You need, of course, basic references. Because you're going out there, people will get injured. Third party people also will get injured. So you need to know the basic. Task management. You need to allocate your task. Your project manager gives you a task, you must give them they must give you a deadline, or you give them a deadline. Then at the same time, when client come talk to you, you'll say, okay, my project manager is doing this job. He also doing other jobs. So how do I help him so that he can accomplish his task? Then basic understanding of the facility or similar field. You need to know everybody's field. You need to know what your project managers are doing. You need to know what your workers are doing, all the field. Either they are scaffold erector, work welder, controller, confined space, also fabrication, carpentry, what are they doing? Are they using the right tool? Are they appointed? Are they certified? Are they trained? If they are trained, are they certified? If they're not certified, when can I give the time for them to go for training and get certification? Of course, you need to know the CAD drawing. CAD drawing is like layout, building layout, all these things. Because when the project manager give or project engineer gives you the layout, you need to know what are they building. Is the dimension right? What equipment do they need? So you have to foresee all this. Power tools, especially. You say, oh, I can use this, but sometimes I say you can weld this structure together. It's easy. But the guy said we don't have enough welding gas. So bolt easier, ma. Just cut, drill, bolt. You got a structure already. But is it stable? That's when civil engineering comes in. The knowledge for civil engineering. Is it stable? Will it hold the weight? So you need to make sure that the PE and check and endorse the structure before you approve to the project manager. Say, okay, this is approved by your PE. The layout is correct. Let's see all these hazards that's going to happen when you erect it. Then if everything can be mitigated, let's go for it. Let's just do it. If you need help, let's supervise. So you need a good year also. Why a good year? Because people come to you not because of safety. They come to you with a lot of things. They come to you with financial. They come to you because of different policy. COVID-19 especially. My HR, my manager come to me and say, how much can we do to bring the workforce back? How much must I spend to ensure I comply with the regulation? And how much do I need to stretch my workforce so that I can still continue paying my workforce? Or how do I deploy my workforce in a way that all my projects, current projects, are taken care of? So these are the skills you may need or you will acquire over the long period of time as you are WSH. So during my COVID time, I was still operating. My company was still doing maintenance. So we were still trying to figure out how to transport worker multiple trips. As we know, when we first started, we had only allowed 6 people in. So you need to know how much material you need to bring there, who can bring there. And supply and demand of material. Our supplier actually gave us an email, sent us an email, stating that by this date you must submit to us all the material you need for us to supply to you. After that, we close shop. So they say, but now, what's our business continuity plan? We ask the safety to draft a business continuity plan. So they say, okay, COVID-19, how do we track our drivers? How do we track our operating project team? Drivers, they say, oh, driver just drive around. A driver is the high risk one because they go every single location to drop the worker. So they are the P's are when if there's a COVID victim or suspect case, they are the one more likely to catch it. So the next one is logistics. The first one is logistics. Second one mental. So COVID-19, everyone locked down, workers especially, overcrowded space. So long-term quarantine or stay-home notice. During that the first 2 periods, my safety who was working outside, staying in the dormitory outside, Mandai or Tuas or other place. We got one guy, he was sent to a hotel. I think he's still staying there now. They are still calling me saying, when can I leave? When can I start work? Can I just go out of my room and then walk around? So I did voice out to my management, can we do something? If not, by the time we COVID-19 allow us to work post COVID-19, our workers are cracked already. We cannot operate, then what can we do? We lose our workforce, we lose our experienced workforce. So these are the things. Financial loss, they are not working, they're not bringing the money. People who return home are trapped outside. They have no money, no support. So these things are mental and financial things that we as a WSH must take into account during this COVID-19. So of course COVID-19, everybody fear mongering. They say, oh, I got so many people here. Who has COVID? In one room, maybe 8 people. If 1 people get, then they say, do I have? Or when they say, oh, I'm suspected of COVID, then they treat me. I'm fit to return. But they say you can recontract it again. Then you start to get. So they say, I don't want to work. Especially cleaners, when they go and work in a medical facility, they panic. I don't want to go. Oh, 5 days MC, I take 5 days. Then who will cover their duty? Another person. Then he also fear. So I'm old. I'm very vulnerable. So fear. Operation, work from home. Stagger work hours. People working from home. I don't have internet. Or my internet very slow. Stagger work hours. If I have to come in the afternoon, unless I don't come in. So additional duties, we tried to provide some disinfecting service to our workers. I said, we're going to start cleaning, we're going to take temperature, we're going to document it down. So this thing, they thought, oh, extra duty means more money, but they found no money. But more work for me. Some they say, okay, at least I'm doing something. I'm walking around, okay, I get the right to walk around, I get the right to do something. So I won't get put in the dormitory, in-house dormitory or dormitory. So one thing we had no idea was how to develop a new SOP for this COVID-19. We checked through, because this was the first time everything was locked down, everyone's scared, no idea what to do. So we started looking back, talking, okay, hand hygiene basic, temperature taking, face mask. Face mask at the time first year they say don't need, but I say need for the long term lah, in case scarcity. So our workforce operation we were shrinking because majority of them was staying out in the external dormitory. We have an in-house dormitory, but the workforce can only do so much. Also, some people say, like this, I go home. Instead of coming back, I resign, I go back home. High turnover, especially in cleaning industry, they're scared. Or they say, oh, so much things to do. I must disinfect. I must wear this suit. I must wear the hairband. I must wear the head cover, wear gloves, not touch this. Spray. So I think spraying of disinfectant is about maybe twice, 2 hours shift. Every 2 hours they have to spray, so they were scared. They were tired. Wow, so many things I don't want to do. I want to go elsewhere and do simple things. So how we try to allocate COVID-19 preventive measures. So who gets to do what? Who is the SMO? Who's the SBO? So who gets to go home and stay at home work from home for 1 week? Who gets to go back and then stay there for the duration of the COVID-19? So post COVID-19, we decide, okay, after this we must track and support our logistics team. All our drivers, our supplier, we must protect. In operation, we must assign safety coverage as much as possible. Not only the WHO, we must teach our supervisors, our team leaders, how to do all this safety, how to check. We need a resilient workforce. We cannot have them like stirring up for everything. We need to then, okay, this COVID-19 is here to stay. We need to do hand hygiene. We need to check our temperature. We need to wear our face mask. We need to look out for each other. So we need to know how to allocate our workforce better. So one project, we take this number of workforce, we take this number of people to do the assignment. Then next day, we'll see how. If yours is the duration, then we'll see how you're going to allocate. Because we cannot give you too many people. Because it'll be, if they all fall sick, I will fall sick. So we decide trying to break down our workforce. IT support. We saw how much IT has helped us, Zoom, and then digitization. So okay, and we start digitizing some of our administration system. If paychecks are not to be written down and then calculated and sent by paper, I don't think it's the way. So maybe email or email through WhatsApp or send through WhatsApp through maybe other financial institutions, just for the worker to ensure that they are taken care of financially. So we deploy too. We deploy some of our training videos in handphone. We let them watch training video on the phone. We try to reduce waste also, because a lot of plastic waste. They tapao back, they pack back, then once they finish, we throw. So we need to reduce that waste. We try to ask them Tupperware. So for me, what's my next move? So I plan to develop more training videos for them. So I don't have to go there and train them personally. I can just say, new video has been uploaded. You may check. We will provide some tracking to make sure that when they watch, we track them. Okay, this guy watch. So once in a while, we go down and check for him. Ask him, okay, this video you watch. So what you learn? I'm not going to explain things you are going to teach me. So if he tells me everything that he learned from the video and he practices it, then the video has done his job. But if he still continues his old habit, then the video is just a video. So I hope
Sorry to disturb you, Dara. Can you speed up? We have time limit. Yeah.
So I want to expand my security and my technical support team. So I hope to expand to maybe urban farming energy. Give our maintenance company. So some advice. So I say be patient. Your company system is being established. You try to change it with the HP. So you need to step back, evaluate the situation, manage your activity or task, not your time. So you need to have some technical knowledge. It's a plus. You have to be all rounder. You cannot just stay in safety. You need to go and expand yourself. So people will seek you for other purposes besides safety. So safety is no longer only your job. So that's it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dara. And now thanks a lot for your presentations and share with us about your experience. I'm not sure it's a good, lucky or not lucky that since you started your job 6 months time and start this pandemic, but I believe it's a good practice and a lot of lesson to learn over your journey. And okay, now I'm inviting our our second alumni speaker, and Sunny Tan. And Sunny is a director in HSSE and quality under the C&W services. So Sunny is a distinguished BenvOHS alumni member from the University of Newcastle, and he graduated from BenvOHS program in 2012. Sunny has been very instrumental with the BenvOHS alumni groups, and he volunteered himself to be part of the alumni committees and also organize and set directions for the new graduates to better understand the role and the job opportunities. So actually today is not the first time Sunny has been seated with us and sharing his career journey, but it's his ever first time to share after this pandemic happened. So Sunny has been in the safety industries and through various events and various roles. And as a safety professionals, he is also sitting in other safety professional committees like CISO and contribute to the bigger societies within Singapore. So at work, he has led the organization to win the Best Safe Partner Award in 2017, 2019, and 2020, awarded by the Workplace Safety and Health Council. So he has led HSSE and the Quality Department, which has been more than 20 professionals across the region in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. And now he will going to share with us how he developed his career pathways as a WSH professional. Sunny, now I over to you, please.
Thanks, Nancy, for the very nice introduction. Can you all see my screen?
Sorry, we couldn't.
You couldn't see my screen. Just give me a minute. Let me just try again.
So did you see the share screen button below?
Okay, okay. Yes, I'm sharing now. Just give me a minute.
I think now it's coming up. Yeah.
It's coming up?
No.
Yeah, okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Nancy, and for inviting me here to share my career, how I actually progressed through workplace safety and health since I graduated back in late 80s until today where I am. As all of you can see that I started my first career with the RSF with them for 10 years, equipped with a diploma in mechanical engineering back then. I moved on after a good 10 years.
Sorry
Yeah.
to disturb you. I think your video have some problem. Can you stop video and turn on the video again?
Sorry, you can't see the slide?
Yeah, now it's okay.
You can see.
I can see you now. It's yeah. So
Yeah.
can you share the screen?
Can you now see the slide?
Now yes, but we couldn't see you. So your camera is off.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, the slide is more important than me.
Okay. Okay. Now you must bring us a very awesome and interactive sessions. Without
yeah.
Okay.
I do not want the participant to focus on me. Rather, I want them to focus on what I'm sharing. That is more important. Okay. After I started my career with the RSF as young officers back then in the late 80s. I mean, I have a good 10 years with them. After that, I decided to move on to the commercial world, and I turned out on this particular company that was there under the same logistic, which is called ST Airport Services. I did not join them as the so-called safety manager or quality manager back then. I started my role as a so-called depot, managing one of the depot executive, and an opportunity comes, and a lot of times that the BenvOHS alumni, those that just graduated or new, I think for the past year, which I met, they was always asking me, how do I actually look for opportunity to turn my career into a safety career? So I was just sharing with them my personal experience. You can always start from internal, from your own organization. That is the place that which you are familiar with, and that is actually what happened to me back then. I think most of you will not have known. Mr. Chan is an expert in this. Back then, before 2006, we were so-called adopting the Factory Act instead of the Workplace Safety and Health Act. Then I saw this new act that is coming in place when it first started in 2006. It did not actually impacted the industry that I was in, but I know that sooner or later it will come. So I actually walk up to my so-called my GM back then. I was telling him, we need to do this. He was telling me, oh no, we are still not affected. We wait till we are affected before we start looking into this. But I was very persistent. I tell him, no, I think we have to start slow, and we have to already start it before the new law kicks into our industrial. We will rather be more proactive rather than reactive. So in the end, with my persistence, he actually buy the idea, and that is the point when I actually started my safety career. But I did not arm myself with any so-called safety qualification back then until I officially took up the role of a safety manager back in the organization. As you can see from my slide, the different years that I actually went through some of the training to get myself equipped with the needed knowledge. And after a good 13 years with this company, I actually left and moved on. And when I moved on, I decided that it was time for me to further upgrade my so-called knowledge, professional knowledge, and that is when I joined BenvOHS. And a lot of times is also that people were saying that, should I be equipped with the academic qualification first, or should I be equipped with, or should I get on with what I have? It's a balance. It's a balance between having the needed knowledge and what you are doing. If you people chasing too much knowledge, and you have actually no time to implement them. It's actually a waste of spending too much time on the academic. So it must be a balance that, have you so-called in a way exhausted the knowledge that you have acquired previously to fulfill your role, or is this role enlarging that you need more knowledge to fulfill this role? So just a balance. You have to gauge and see how you fit into your current roles and how you want to see yourself move on in years to come. So as you can see that I did not keep on taking a lot of so-called qualification in order to fulfill my role, because at a certain point of time that I know that with the qualifications that I had acquired, it's good for me to move on in the number of years to come. And subsequently, when I move on to my current role with C&W Services, the very first thing when I went for this interview, one of my senior management that was interviewing was asking me, are you a policeman or a value-added person? The answer to him is that I'm going to add value to our organization. I say, oh, thank you. This is what I wanted to hear. If you tell me that you are a policeman, I'm sorry, you won't get this job. Because what organization is looking at is not just a person that is happy enforcing the rules and regulation of a company, like what Mr. Chan earlier shared. They want you to value add and make sure that the company actually progress through a safety culture rather than a policeman enforcing the organization. So what do a safety professional actually needs in order to fulfill your role today? Okay. Firstly, as a safety professional in an organization, you need to be also an enforcer, but not a full-time enforcer that just go around catching people for violating the rules or not complying the rules. But you must be one that is able to understand what is right and what is wrong and making the workplace safe. You do not want to be perceived as a policeman walking the ground and terrorizing all the workforce on the ground. But you want to be a person that people respect you for making the right move as an enforcer, and not one person that is enforcing for the sake of just enforcing on the ground. A creator. In today's context, safety plays a big part in the organization in terms of how the company is going to progress, how the company is going to make more revenues. Safety play a big part. As a bigger company, always emphasize on safety. And that's why you can hear from Nancy's introduction that I actually have about 20 over safety professionals working within my organization, because the management believe that safety is the number one. And safety actually creates value to the revenues. And as a safety professional, you must be a creator. Once that value create. And when you have value create, or you have come up with safety programs, you must be like a salesman. I think all of you encounter salesmen in one way or the other, that you must be able to sell your products. If you're not able to sell your products and there's no buyer, you can't implement and things can't get on moving. And you also have to be a very good moderator, one that is able to moderate in order to achieve a good safety outcome. If some salesmen are very good at selling, but ask yourself, a lot of time when we buy things, do we actually use it? Or how often do we use a product that we buy? So as a salesman, when you sell a product, you must be able to add on to become a very good moderator to your workforce, that they will be able to use it and you can achieve a good safety outcome. Negotiator. A lot of times, I think all of you that are actually practicing your role as a WSHO on the ground, a lot of time the operations will come and tell you, sorry, what you have said, I can't accept. Or what you have tell us to do, we are not able to do it. But is that the end of the story? As a good safety professional, that's only the start of the story. You must be able to negotiate and come with terms with operations that meet both requirements. I mean, a very classic example is, if you need to buy an equipment, do you mean, for example, if you need to buy a car to move from point A to point B, do you need to buy a Rolls Royce, or can a normal commercial Japanese car do it? Yeah. So if as a WHO, you keep on insisting that no, it must be this high spec that is only able to fulfill the role, and operation will say, no, I don't have the budget, so I'm not going to buy it. And at points of time, as a good safety professional, as a negotiator, you must be able to understand the ground and your company organization, your assets management within the organization. For example, if you have, you know that your company have MUWP, over elevator working platform, that is being deployed over at your work site. Does it mean that if another site needs to use an MUWP, you have to purchase one? Just because you need to use it? But are you able to value add to your operational department and tell them that in actual fact you can use the one over at the other side, because they are not using it every day. There are certain days that they are not using it. And who will know all this information? It's us as safety professional. Why did I say that? Because we are the one that is always walking the ground and seeing what is happening on the ground. So we actually knows what is going on. Whereas the operation, when they are managing different sites, they only focus on the site that they are managing and not looking at what other site have. And this is what will bring back to my second point, a creator. Ones that value, create. Ones that help the company to reduce costs and work more efficient. Motivator. Having said the last few points, if you need to be able to motivate your workforce to implement changes to safety procedures. Right? A lot of times that we come up with a lot of initiative. A lot of initiative will get killed before you even move the first step, because a lot of people are not so-called motivated, or they find it's just another step that I have to do. It's something that is so painful. So it's us that need to motivate the people to move. And how to motivate the people to move? We have to understand the behavior of the people on the ground, so that you know which are the group to move, so that you can influence the rest to move. And not like everybody is just standing behind the safety in the company, just waiting for you. You have to be counselor. You have to be one that is able to counsel and provide good value add. I think a lot of time when it comes to safety, operation tends to just do it on their own, and they will not want to come to the safety professional if they feel that you are just going to tell me what the regulator tell me to do or what the regulations stated, and there's no value add to it, because they will also come and tell you that I also can read what is written in the regulations. But as a safety professional, we must be able to counsel the operations and provide good value and tell them that, okay, this is what the law is saying, and this is what we can do to fulfill the law, and not just telling them that the law says we must do this, so we must do this. Communicator, one that is able to make parties understand and a good listening as well. We must be able to communicate what we want the workforce to follow. And we also must be a good listener to listen back, to hear their feedback, that we are able to understand what are the things that we are putting in place actually makes sense, or actually is it good for the ground. I mean, a lot of times that we come up with initiative, safety programs, we think that is good for the ground, but without realizing there are some difficulties on the ground that some of them are not able to do it due to many reasons. So we must always have a channel that we must be a good listener. A communicator is not just one way that you force it down the throat, but you must be able to take back what the ground people says. You must be very open-minded. Don't be afraid to admit that your ideas was not good or not thought through enough, but you must be able to take criticism from the ground as well and understand what is good and what is not good. Coach, one that is able to share, coach, and not just teach. I mean, a lot of time we went for training classes. We will sit down for 5 days, 2 weeks, even months to acquire, at the end of the day, the qualifications. But if you are a trainer yourself, do you just want to impart your knowledge to just teaching, or are you, or do you want to share and coach and make sure that the trainees understand what he's being in the class, rather than just throwing out through the workforce on what you think that they should know. What they should know and what they will do is two different things. I mean, I actually went to a few toolbox section with my contractors. I mean, the contractors actually was doing a toolbox briefing in the morning. So after the briefing completed in 10-15 minutes, so I was asking them, so are you all done? Yes, I have communicated what I need to communicate. I said, oh, that's very good, very impressive. But at the end of the day, you have your workers that are all sitting in front of you, that is listening to you. I just tell them that I can tell you that what you have done the last 15 minutes is not effective, because none of the people understand what you're trying to say. In order to prove him, I actually asked a few workers to explain what was just communicated. And most of them couldn't understand what he was trying to say. Because a lot of times as a sharing session, you don't just teach what you want to teach, but you must make sure that the trainees is able to understand what you're teaching. So you must be able to coach and share more than what is just written between on the lines, but you must be able to share what is written in between the lines so that they understand. So as you can see from this chart that I've come up with, a safety professional life is very colorful and it's very wonderful. So don't be set back just because that you are faced with certain problems in your organization. The light will come at the end of the tunnel, and the light is always there. Yeah, so with this, actually, I have finished my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Sunny. Thank you a lot to bring us 10-in-1 roles for to be a occupational health and safety professional. And I can see that it's quite a heavy task to be well doing for all 10 roles as a safety professional. But I could also feel that how important as a safety professional nowadays in the workplace. Okay, now I share my screen. And then now we come to the last session, the panel discussion. So during the 3 speaker or 2 alumni sharings, we also received a lot of exciting questions. So my first question is to all 3 speakers. And so the first question is about with the current development of the high technologies like the AI, big data, and the technologies in general. So will the WSH jobs will be replaced by technologies and similar to other industries? So whether the job demanding will slow down and so replaced by technologies, how do you see that in next 10 years, 20 years? So Mr. Chan and Sally and Dara and Sunny, can you try to answer these questions?
Okay, perhaps I will start first.
Yeah,
I think many of you have heard about the WSH 2028 report that came out in 2019. And I think there are 3 strategies being discussed in this 2028 paper, and one of it is about technology enable WSH. And that is the understanding that we can leverage on the new technologies, especially to help us to enhance and to improve workplace safety and health. Of course, some of the technology will replace the work or the tasks carried out by the WSH professional. But in fact, it helps the WSH officer to focus on other things like management system and all that, rather than to be caught up in all these day-to-day inspections and check and all that. So I would say that new technologies will take over some of the jobs or some of the tasks undertaken by WSH officer, but this gives opportunity to the WSH officer to look into other things like management system, improving training methods and all that. So I would say that WSH officer is not going to be our job, but I would rather say that you are now given more weapons to help you to do your work better and more efficiently.
Thank you, Mr. Chan. Sunny, do you have any comments on this one? I know that CNW is trying to use a lot of technologies for today's work.
Yeah, I mean, CNW is the facility management company, and we also knows that the national is going to smart buildings. So that's why a lot of technology will be put in place, especially for all the buildings, facilities, and in terms of even manufacturing, industrial automations. But does that mean the WSH will lose their job? I think it's a double-edged sword. If a WHO thinks that what I have today and I will lose my job, I think you will lose your job. But if you follow what the industry is moving, and you get ready for what the direction of the industry is going into, you will always stay employed. Yeah. That's what earlier Mr. Chan also shared about the CPP that CISO have in place right now. it's not talking about just the technical skill. Because technical skill, after you finish your level C or you finish the BenvOHS courses, you are equipped with the technical knowledge of it. But a lot of time, WSHO lack the soft skill of managing people from different levels, especially the senior management. Senior management, in actual fact, wanted all WSHO to be able to move up the corporate ladders because they want to retain the corporate knowledge of each individual, especially those WSHO, which is good and is able to contribute to the organization. So please always look at where the industrial is heading to and be more proactive. And one of the very good way to understand is to socialize, networking. And that is where, like what Nancy earlier says, that actually helps to spearhead the alumni in creating a lot of networking session to bring the alumni together with the older graduates and with the industrial player as well, so that they understand from the industrial itself and not just scope within their office, small little office or small little site doing what they are doing every day. Especially as a young WSHO, most of the time you are being dictated to do enforcement rather than thinking of giving the opportunity to create value add for your organization. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sunny. And Dara, do you have something to add on? As a new generations just to start your career, do you feel that technology actually plays a big threat to your career journeys in the next 20 years?
I think IT is a good tool for us WSHO. Because no matter how advanced we are, we still need the human touch. People still want to see a human talk to them. They want social skills.
Okay, thank you a lot. And I just read an article 2 days ago about the top 10 sustainability issues in the next 10 decades. Actually, in the past few years, occupational health and safety and hygiene is never been in the top place. But since this pandemic happened in this 2020, actually the world actually reorder and it's game changing. So the occupational health and safety and hygiene actually become the top 5 sustainability challenge in the coming decades. So, okay. So I also received another questions. It's given the virtual importance of the WSH in the workplace and the society. So what are your thoughts on incentivizing the young men to get excited about this area? For example, like for me, I don't know about when I'm just started my career 10 years ago, I'm actually in the safety section. So I don't have the safety background and I don't have any. And only when I come into this industry, I realize, oh, this is really a booming and developing industry. So how can we incentivize the young men to join this industry? So what's in your thought? Mr. Chan, can you answer this since you are the senior consultant with WSH Council and it's part of the council's program, I know, to promoting the safety and the cultures among the school and the youth?
Okay, I think like what you mentioned, safety and health have come into the limelight because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Everybody is worried about being infected with the virus, and I mean, never in a short span of 5 to 6 months, everybody is talking about how to wear a face mask properly and that it must be fit properly and all that. So, in fact, now I think the whole generation of all the Singaporeans know how to wear a face mask and know about fitness and all that. So I think it's something that brings safety and health to the limelight. And although unfortunately there are people who succumb to the virus infection, council is reaching out to schools and to primary, secondary, as well as the institutional higher learnings about workplace safety and health. And we are pushing not as a subject or something that you take up as what I call future career, but rather as something for your own personal safety and health. I think COVID-19 shows that you need to know about safety and health, be it at the personal level or at the workplace level. And from there, I think through my experience is, do you have this passion to take care of the person working next to you or the people working in the organization and all that? Then I think WSH profession is something that you should consider. And I would say that through my 35 years, things have changed a lot. When I started as a inspector with the Ministry of Labor, at that time it's called Ministry of Labor, I know nothing about WSH. I only know what I had from the university, which is mechanical electrical engineering. But then the on-the-job training have brought me to understand that WSH is important at work. I mean, it's not about productivity, but it's all about human lives. So I guess there are opportunities for people to be interested in WSH, and I would say that in fact, many of the people that I met along the way as WSH professional, they transited from non-WSH jobs to WSH profession, like Sunny. You can see that he started not as a WSH officer, but he realized the importance of WSH. So I guess many will move over to WSH when they see and feel the calling to do a WSH profession, I would say. So I don't think we need to hard sell WSH profession, but people will do come over, and this will be the people with the passion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chan. Sandy, do you have something to add? I know you have 3 lovely kids, and how you are going to get them? Are you going to get one of them to join this industry after the daddy, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I will leave it to my kids on to the calling. Yeah, I mean, it's good for them to understand the industrial first before they actually embark on whether safety is the right so-called career for them. I mean, when we do safety, it's not just looking for the money as a safety profession. I think in the early 70s, early 80s, I think if you all can talk to the more senior, they're saying, wow, that is the time, the boom for safety professional, especially during the construction, where a lot of them are earning big bucks. But in today's safety industrial, I would say the golden era is already over of earning quick and big bucks, but it's more on the passion on you are embarking on this journey because you want to share and make everybody around you safe. In the condition that it comes to work, they go home safely to their families. And to me, as a young safety professional, when you join the safety professional industrial, don't be afraid to go up to your superior and sell your ideas. I mean, you will need to take direction from your superior on certain things that you do, but don't be afraid to sell your ideas. I mean, I have also have young BenvOHS alumni that have joined me, graduated in 2014, 20 plus. I think she was one of the speakers doing on the youth young safety officers seminar as well. Me, as a young millennial, I would say they have very fantastic ideas that right now at my age or the second generation that I will not have thought of in doing the same thing as I do. If I have so-called instructed her to do, I will instruct her in a different way. But the way that she's doing, she's looking at how the young people are looking at it and putting in a lot of vibrance into implementing all these safety programs, which is something that the safety industry needs to actually get people to be on board. It cannot be a very boring programs to buy people in. It now must be a very vibrant and very attractive programs that people are willing to join in. Yeah.
Thanks, Sandy. And I could actually link to my own experience because when I just joined my current job, and 10 years ago, when I visited the shipyard and the factories, I saw a lot of uncles actually working as safety officers in the shipyard. But day by day, and this has been changing and replaced by the young generations, and come up with a lot of great ideas to make the workplace and health and safety more developed and more advanced and linked to technology more these days. Okay, thank you. And due to the time limitation, we are already run out of the time. So I think a lot of questions, we are still getting a lot of exciting questions. But if you have the questions and you wish to get the answer, you can keep us in touch and sending your email. I will give off the email and the contact method and later. So you can keep us in touch, and I will try to link you to any speakers and trying to answer your questions. So now we come to the very end of tonight's event, and before we actually signing off, I would like all the participants can do me a favor and can do the event survey and give some feedbacks for us to evaluate our event and trying to organize much better event in the future and based on the topic on demanding. Yeah. So you can just scan the QR code and then do the survey, and it's very quick. It's only 5 questions. So I will leave it for 2 minutes for us to do this survey. And so now I come to the end, and if you wish to receive our events information and any event update, please do feel free to contact us and also check with the University of Newcastle Singapore website. Meanwhile, we also always put our latest events and the WSH events from the council or CISO into our Facebook, LinkedIn, and IG account. So you can always like the page and keep in touch with us. So now we are come to the very end. Thanks for our speakers, guests, friends, and alumni and the students from University of Newcastle. And last but not least, thanks for my dear fellow BenvOHS Alumni committees and for your hard working during this period, and for University of Newcastle Singapore provide the technical support and to make this event possible. I know without your guys, this event wouldn't happen. So thank you a lot. I wish all you have a safe evening and a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, Sandy,
Thank
Daryl.
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sally to join the event.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy.
Hi.
Yeah, in the curriculum of your BenvOHS course, is there a curriculum on technology adoption for WSH?
I don't think so for currently.
Okay, because I thought this would be something that should be included into the curriculum, because this is a new area where young new officers should be able to take on and understand how it's being used and then apply it at their workplace, because more and more technologies will be used to beef up WSH practices and operation.
Yeah, I think maybe Dr. Kavita and Dr. Charles have a say on this because they are in charge of this BenvOHS program. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chan, we are looking into it as well, and we are trying to include technological aspects as much as possible whenever we are doing modifications to the courses. We keep updating our courses every now and then.
Okay.
And we have also tried to include artificial intelligence and technology-based concepts into some of the courses as of now. So we will be doing that little by little. Yes. And thank you very much for that feedback. We are taking that into account. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think in ergonomics that I teach, I discuss a little bit about human failure and errors and doing this. briefly discuss a little bit about some of this new kind of technology, AI, data analysis, looking at yeah. So that may be some opportunity to include some things there.
Okay, because it's good to see how you can incorporate some of the things that are in the WSH 2028, because that will prepare your new graduates with the right tools and knowledge to really plug into this 2028 framework and be able to contribute towards our target at the end of 2028.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. So stay safe and stay healthy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Tan. You meant to
Thank you.
share your, Mr. Tan, I want to check with you. Can you send your address to me, and then I can arrange University of Newcastle to send over a souvenir as a speaker to you?
Oh, okay. I will send through the email then. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sorry, can
Are
I
we taking a group photo?
Yeah, make a request. Do you all want to take a group photo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Michelle. Yep.
Okay.
Listen, the panelists, if you all want to take a photo, please turn your cameras on. And maybe Nancy, can you stop share your screen first?
Okay.
So I got more space to capture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can capture more faces in this photo. Right. Okay. Maybe, yeah, your committee members are here. And any more? All right,
Committee members, would you all like to switch on your
show your video, please?
No.
video?
The last chance, yeah. Feel yourself.
I think some went to make, their hair nice, comb their hair, everything, get ready.
I know Ming Hui just finished her work and